What are you reading right now? I haven't asked you that in so long. Usually you post about it, but I haven't seen you post about anything.
Yeah, well, it's this, like, weird conundrum right now. I was telling Cody about this. Like, I feel do you ever feel like you're in, like, a show hole, but with books? Or,
Like
like,
like
I
you
don't
can't get motivated to read or like you just finished an or like
I can't find the right vibe of, like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
what
That's kind of what I figured. Yeah.
yeah, like, read a perfectly fine semi-dark romance, and I don't know, wasn't like, it was fine. I liked it. I liked the style of writing because my time is so limited. Because we are
Valuable.
because we are crazy people and we're like, "Hey, we don't have enough to do. Let's just start a
Do more.
podcast." Yes. Like, my cousin texted me over Christmas after she got, like, our Christmas card, and she's like, "You started a podcast? Like, what and you're writing books, and you're reading, and you have 2 small children. Like, what are you doing?" Like, I am highly motivated to work on my book. And the first few rounds of edits went really fast and super easy for me. I was very decisive. Now this current batch of editing I'm doing is like the really intense, you need to make sure it's working. And
Mhm.
there's no plot holes and everything is meshing and like the pace is correct. So it's really intimidating for me. Very motivated to do it, but I'm just like I need the dedicated time to do it. And I'm like, "Oh, I'll just, like, take a week off work and, like, do it." But then Mackenzie only has, like, half days at preschool. And then it's like, "Oh, so you really only get 3 hours at a crack. Woo." So then I'm like, "Okay, maybe I'll just read some books instead just to, like, keep the brain going." And then it's like, "Oh, I can't find the right vibe," or, like, "I don't wanna get, like, too invested," or, "I don't wanna read a book that's, like, too close to my book." And it's I'm just, like, a hot mess when it comes to the literary world, like, this past probably, like, month. So
I think that's super relatable because like it's really hard to finish one book and pick up another book at in general. Like I think like at all.
yeah, yeah.
It's just really hard to go from one to the other. That's I just started doing it in like different modes, so I feel like I'm easing into it more. So like I'll have like one audiobook going while I'm like when I'm in the car or like doing
Yeah.
dishes while I'm like physically reading another book. And it's either like now that I have the Kindle, I'm either reading it the actual book or I'm reading it on my Kindle. So I feel like I'm like trying to switch constantly have like something on rotation so that I'm like not feeling like completely closed one door and like, oh, I don't know. I'm just like playing mind games with myself.
I was looking at, like, the Novel Bound recap of, like, their retreat in Oregon. Was it Oregon or Washington?
It was Oregon. I think it was like the
Oregon.
Oregon coast. I
Yeah.
know.
I'm like, "Oh, that looked beautiful."
I know.
And then I found another one, I'll send a link to it. Like, both of them are sold out for the year, like, one's in British Columbia and the other one's in Iceland, and right? No big deal, and it's just gorgeous settings, like, both of which would fit my creative brain, like, perfectly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I need to go away and write. I need to go away and write." And then my cousins are all like, because we do, like, we're trying to do a cousins trip every year. So, they're like, "Let's go to a writers' conference with Jenna and just, like, hang out while she's doing her thing." I'm like, "No!" Like, literally, that is the absolute opposite of what I wanna do when I'm at a writers' conference is hanging with my cousins.
Or like hang out like
In
too much. Yeah.
general.
Like, or like have stuff you feel like you need to. It's almost like good to go to places like that aren't as stimulating too because you feel like you wanna do so much probably. Like, if you go somewhere like Iceland or something, you're like, "I'm here, I wanna see things and do it," but it's like you should be in the
Yeah.
zone the whole time.
So now I'm in the let's research some remote cabins in, like, the UP of Michigan where I can just be alone for even just 3 full days alone would be a miracle for my writing.
No, I totally understand that.
But it's like, when am I gonna have the time? Who's gonna watch the kids? It's this whole, like, mind fuck that is just constant in my brain lately, and, like, I feel like I'm pulling a Kate and I'm having, like, insomnia, and I'm, like, staying up till 2 a.m., like, doing God knows what.
I feel like that means you're close, though.
Oh, really? Tell me
Yeah.
more.
I feeling that means you're
Boost my
close
ego.
because I feel like that's when I got to the end, that's where was. Like, I was just in this place of just, like, I feel the end, like, I can feel it if I just had this amount of time, or if I just did this. I'm up at 2 a.m., like, writing notes on my phone because that's the time my mind is, like, the ideas are coming or the fixes are coming and, like, things are, like, going fast, and it
Like,
was
my
the
brain
time
won't
that I,
shut
like
off about it.
yeah. I feel like that was the time I was like, I gotta do it. Like, I just gotta sit down and do it. And it was coming to me way quicker than it ever had. And that was when I finished it. And it was like this time last year because I finished it and over the summer. But there was a point this time last year where, like, I decided to pick it up and finish it. Like, or like, I was like, I'm gonna go back to this book and I'm gonna do it and committed to it.
That's where I'm at. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wanna commit to it, I just have to find the time.
You'll find it. I think that it's just where your brain is at. You gotta, like, ride the wave. You gotta let it come, and, like, you gotta just be up at 2 a.m. writing the notes, and you'll finish it by yeah. I think it was by May I had it with beta readers.
That's honestly that is really weird because I texted my friends just yesterday. I'm like, "May is my goal of
Mhm.
having beta readers." And so, shout out to anyone that if you love a good romantasy that has, like, some, like, thriller plotline subgenre, would you like to be a beta reader, please? And be kind.
It wasn't until basically a year ago that I got on the online community at all,
Yeah.
um, or, like, started even talking to people on Instagram, or made, like, an author account that wasn't my private, like, the pictures of my kids or whatever. And now that I see so many people posting about beta readers and stuff, I'm like, that's so awesome. Like, it's so nice to have people that aren't your coworkers. All my beta readers are like coworkers and family or extended family, or just like people to just read it at
Right.
first.
Like, God, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to have like, I'll have, like, my book girly friends read it. I'm not gonna give it to anyone that, like, doesn't know what a good romantasy is.
Anyway, that's what today's episode is going to be about, I think.
Yes! Oh, did you get your your editor stuff back?
No, well, she starts basically tomorrow. Is supposed to be
Okay.
the day that she starts on it officially. Um, but we just wanted to come on here, like, just me and Jenna today, and not have any guests, and just chat about what we think and what we're hoping for the future of our books.
We're off for a few weeks, and we haven't chatted in far too long.
I think it's just too. I think that so many people who are out there listening, you're in really kind of the exact same spots that we are. It's
So
like you're
many.
either in the middle of finishing your manuscript, you're really close to being done, and you're thinking about, what are my goals in this, and where do I see this book going, or what do I want for this book? Why am I even here? And I don't know. I didn't really want to interview somebody who was like an expert on it or had been published or like knew this world, because I feel like the conversation in your head is probably the conversation we have all the time about it.
And let's just
Yeah.
reestablish, me and Kate are not experts. This podcast is not for you to really learn much. Like, it's really just for entertainment purposes.
It's just so you don't feel like these conversations are that, like, there's that you're not alone in wondering why you don't even know what an ARC reader is. Because why does everyone else know what an ARC reader is? I didn't know about it until we went to that indie publishing workshop. Um,
Really?
I mean, I was just like, there's beta readers, and then you query. I don't know. What are the steps? But I'm at the point where I'm questioning, like, so, okay, I have finished it. I've queried it. I queried it from August and September. I sent like 50 queries, which I feel like was that's where I hit a wall, I think.
Anything beyond that is, like,
Yeah.
you're really, like, chugging the sauce on it. Like, you're, like, really hardcore.
Yeah. And I did it like everyone told me to, like in batches. I would do like 10 at a time, get some feet, like see if it was working or not working. The first few didn't really work. So I went back and like did a query letter workshop. And then I started getting traction on the new query letter. But I think after 50, and then once I got some full requests, I was like, all right, I think I can't do this anymore. I was just waiting for the full requests to come back, like the feedback from that, and then I was like so exhausted that I don't know, I just sat and waited around for months for these full requests. So I ended up, I think I put it in a post recently, but my stats were like 50 or 40 of the 50 sent out, and then 7 full requests, which it's just such a crazy mind game process because you're like, "Oh my god, somebody, like, wants to read this," like, and they do, and then they're like, "I'm good."
It's really just I look at it as, like, a job interview when people, like, ask for fulls. It's like the query letter is, "Do you know what you're talking about? Do you have a
Mhm.
pulse?" Like, kind of like what, like, a phone interview is to the, like, getting a job, like,
Yeah.
comparison. And then if they ask for a full, that's like an in-person interview.
Yeah.
And then after they get the full, then it's, "Well, do I actually really need this position filled?" Like,
Exactly. That's how it feels. That's
yes!
how it feels too.
It's like, it has nothing to do
Yeah.
with you. It just has everything to do with, "Do I want this?" Like, it I don't know.
It does. And
I
then you
am
get so much of the same thing back. That's basically like, "I just don't see it. I don't have a vision for it in the marketplace," which when we talk to an agent at some point, that will be my
yes.
first question, like, decode
What is
these.
what does it mean? What's
I
the
know, and I
secret?
think there's a lot that they're just saying that's like, "Well, I just don't want or need this, and I'm gonna pass on it, but I don't wanna go back and forth with you, so this is the best way for me to, like, articulate it that's gonna just kinda end this conversation." Not that I would ever go back and forth with an agent, but it's
And
just like, I don't know, it's so strange. It's a strange process.
I totally feel that too. So, okay, let's kind of regroup on your story, like, your storyline of your book. Um, so you did all of that, and
Mhm.
then what were your feelings after? Because I feel like going to Albuquerque for the WFWA retreat, something, like, shifted in your mind about your goal for your book.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you have to think too, I think for the longest time, it wasn't like, "Oh, well, I want this book published by Simon& and Schuster." That wasn't really the goal. This just seemed like the process that you do.
It
It was
felt
just
like
like, "Okay."
this is what I am supposed to do.
It feels like what you're supposed to
Yeah.
do. Right. It was like it's like graduating high school and you're like, "Okay, now I go to college and I'm not even gonna question that decision." Millennials. Like, I'm just gonna do this because everybody, this is what you do. It's just what you do.
College
Um,
debt. Cheers.
yeah, exactly. Cheers. Cheers to going to college.
Yeah.
For my performing arts degree. Um,
At least mine was like an
no, you
artistic trade. Yours was like a pipe dream, that's what it was.
so anyway, so I queried and I did the thing, and then I was in Albuquerque just like waiting for those full request things to come back, and whatever, which I still haven't gotten the one final one, which
We
will come, I'm
shall
sure,
not
the day that I
name.
make the decision to not get an agent.
Yeah,
But
we won't
yeah, it
name
just
names.
feels like the thing. And we did do a really good workshop, which we will have Catherine Matthews on this show for sure. Who's
She
just
was
like a, oh
incredible.
my gosh, like a baller indie. author, self-published, just amazing, wrote an insane book, probably could have sold it anywhere, and
Yes.
decided to bet on herself, and she owns it now, I never really considered that until that workshop and
I
all
didn't
the
even know what it
stats.
was, like, what the route was.
Mm-mm. She broke it down to make it seem so easy, like, okay, all you just need to, like, hire an editor, get your cover, but, like, and just hire people to do these things, and you'll be fine. She just kept saying, like, "If I can do it, you can do it. This is easy. Here's my Excel sheet of everything." That was the first time I ever questioned my path as a writer, and it was the most freeing experience ever. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of in the process of now I've hired a developmental editor, which is something I never thought I would even do. Um, but I did it. And here's my experience so far. For all of you questioning whether you should hire a developmental editor, I haven't gotten anything back yet. She's starting tomorrow. So, like, I will update you on the full experience.
Yes.
Because I'm so curious. But and I texted you right after this because I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know this was going to be a thing. No, I go on. I used Reedsy because I just wanted to find somebody like through a platform that I trusted, and so I on Reedsy you put in basically almost like a query letter, like you just kind of put in a bit about your book, about yourself, and probably the first like 10 pages, and then you research a ton of their editors and their services, and you pick like 5 to send it to. So I picked 5 for me to pay them a lot of money to developmentally edit my book. And then they're supposed to send you basically their quote for your project back to you. And then they send you a lot of information. Actually, they'll look at your pages, they'll give like a sample edit. It's pretty cool. You do get a lot of in-depth info from them, plus their quote, and then you can send them messages back and forth. Really cool. But like, so I picked 5, and like one of them replied immediately, and she was just like, "This looks awesome. I'd be super interested." Like, totally fine, normal, cool. The next one was just like, basically like, "This is a disaster. You can't name." So my book is a travel book. It talks about Anthony Bourdain a little bit, just like as a joke. Like his name comes up as a joke. Some people famous, like they come up as references. You can't do that. You can't name famous people in your book. Also, I have a prologue. We can do an episode on that later. But she was like, the prologue can't chronologically come before the first chapter in the book. So my prologue is like a hint into like part 2, like isn't a hint into like the future of my book. So I split like a scene that's in the middle of my book, and I put half of it as a prologue, and then you come back to it in the middle. She was like, you can't do that. It was like,
Watch me.
so. And then she was like, here's a quote for like $2,500. Like, it was like obscene, way more than the other one. And then there was another one that she kind of did a sample edit on my pages, and the sample edits were just like, oh, don't like that. They were just like not phrased in a very like kind way. And then she was just like, I can see where you're going with this, but here's a few things I'm not getting. And I'm like, because you haven't read the whole book. She was like, I'm just questioning this. I'm like, good. I'm glad you are, because that would make you want to read more. This is the point. It was just like the worst. And then the other 3 of them or the other 2 were amazing. And they're like editors at like Simon and Schuster. The one that I went with like worked at Bloomsbury forever, and actually worked on Eat, Pray, Love, which is like what my book's based on. So I went with her. She just seemed like a baller, and she lives in the UK and was like super cool. And she literally was like, this feels so fun to me, and all I want to do is read more. And I'm so glad this came into my inbox. And I was like, here, take my money. Just take my money.
I will pay for friends.
Yes, just take it. That's how it should be, especially if you're at this stage where I was like, "Hey, like, I've been working on this for a decade, like, it's been through beta readers, it's already gotten full requests, like, I just need a professional person to look at it and say, 'Here's what's working and here's what's not working, here's what's gonna make it better,' before I do anything."
Yeah.
So we'll update on that later, but it was a bigger process than I thought it was gonna be, or, like, it was more, like, internally exposing than I thought.
You're like, "Did
But
not think I was going to get emotionally flayed today, but
no,
sure."
I just thought people were gonna be like, "Here's my quote," like a contractor. I don't know, but it was not. So prepare yourself for that part of it. But I also never thought of, like, having a good or bad experience with an editor, and then it made me realize, like, the relationship between an editor and writer and how important that is. Because I know some people have had some
Shisty
experiences.
experiences? Yeah.
But
So
you've always talked about how, like, in your genre,
mhm.
self-publishing is kind of the thing to do. So have you questioned it before? Like, were you going into this writing this book, were you like, "I'll likely self-publish this," or that I'll likely query?
First, I was just, like, happy to learn about the industry, like, the traditional industry. Like, I researched the crap out of it because that's what I do. Like, before I do anything, I research things way more thoroughly than the average human. Just to it's mainly like a comfort thing of like, I don't wanna feel inadequate. So so I researched it a lot. Um, I mainly just like the traditional side of it. I said, "Let's give it a whirl," and like, worked on it a lot, eventually got it into, like, a pretty happy place, I thought. Then I realized that, wait, a lot of the books that I love, like, in the romantasy genre, they were all self-published first. Almost all of them were self-published
Crazy.
first,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until, like, either they were in the contemporary romance space and were self-publishing and then got a lot of, like, momentum and then went into romantasy. But even if they went straight into romantasy, it was a lot of self-publishing. And I was doing my research, looking more of, like, the people that did indie publish, and I'm like, "I could just do this myself." Like, I really could do it myself, but I didn't know the financial investment side of it, nor the pros of full creative control. Like, that wasn't for being a creative individual in a creative space for my day job and my education. No clue, or rather, it didn't even cross my mind that that was one of the biggest things when we were like Catherine Matthews was talking about of what's the biggest benefit of being an indie author is that you have full creative control. You can
And
talk
ownership.
about yeah, and ownership. Like you own it. You make all the dollars from it, but you also you can decide what goes in it. You can decide if, like, the topic matter, if it makes people uncomfortable, not just because of, like because mine have, like, the spice level or anything like that, but, like, you can talk about topics that don't necessarily sell like hotcakes. A really good example of that would be Rebecca Yarros. When she wrote Fourth Wing, she wrote it to be a reflection of what it's like when the society really leans heavily on censorship. What does it do to rewriting history? What does it do in terms of transparency to the general public? And yeah, it is a kick ass book. But if you look at, like, I don't screw it. Like, yes, I do mean this to, like, to get like political. Of if you look at the books that are selling, they're not aligning with what's happening in the world. Like, they're having these moments of, like, dystopia to them almost of,
That's such a good way to put it. Yeah.
like, it's so much more attractive to me as a writer to know that someone can't come to me and say, "You're not allowed to put that in your book because it won't sell."
Mhm.
So, I want, like, my stories to be out there. Of course, I want them, like, to be their best, and Catherine Matthews, like, showed us. that you can have an absolutely incredibly written, well edited, like, that's always people's, like, biggest qualm with, like, indie authors is that they're like, "Oh, they're not edited well." Like, she's like, "Just pay someone to do it." And you can have that. You can have, like, an award-winning book and not have it be a traditionally published book, and here I am with, like, traditionally published and indie authors behind me, and it's like, you can do either. So, eventually, cool, if someone wants, like, some large publisher wants to buy my book, great. Love that for me. But for now, I think I just wanna go indie, and I wanna do it, and I wanna have control, and I wanna do it at my own pace,
Yeah.
because right now, like we were just talking about, like, we're crazy people, and we have a lot of things on our plates, and I don't want to feel like I'm disappointing my kids if I have to lock myself away for 12 months to finish a book that's on a deadline or anything. It's like, it's when I wanna do it. So
That's such a good way to put it. Yeah, the control aspect of it for me too was just the ownership of the the dollars. Like that I don't know, like the creative control I totally get. Um and I think too when you hear so much like if you're somebody who's heard this a lot like me, like I like it. It's strong. I just don't know where to put it in a bookstore or I don't know how to market it. I go, "Well, I do." So
right! Like, you
maybe I'm the
know.
best person to market it and you aren't. And like that's fine, but I just need to realize that maybe me selling my own product is better at the moment. I think too like I think about publishing and I think about and if this is your goal, like if you just want it, you want to see it at Barnes and Noble with the HarperCollins symbol on it and that is why you're here, love it. Go for it. Shoot for the
Absolutely.
stars.
Like, duh,
I
I would love that too.
Yeah, I think with this book, and I think that every book, this is what I'm also telling myself in my head that every book can have a different journey. Like maybe this book is the book that I'm the champion for because it's my story. Like I'm the best person for this. I've also been writing it for so long that I'm just so desperate to have it in my hand, and I will upfront some cost for that for me to be able to sell a product because right now I'm just posting about yeah, like I'm just like posting about my day or the podcast or whatever. But eventually I just want to have this product that when people are like, oh, you're a writer, I'm like, yep, here we are. And there's nothing that's stopping me from doing that except for people stopping me from doing that.
That is so true. Like, the only people that are saying no they're not the ones that actually should be gatekeeping everything about your book.
Exactly. And for some people, they wrote the perfect thing at the perfect time, and the timing is just lines up for them really well.
Yes. Like,
With
they're on
like,
the cusp of a trend, on the
mhm,
cusp of a genre, and it fits the marketplace perfectly, and it may even, like, push the marketplace a little bit too, but I think I'm in the same boat with you in that I don't think this book is that. I think this book is, like, a reaction to reading all the romanticities and
mhm,
wanting something that just had more depth and
got it.
had more character development in, like, a female main character that was older, a female main character that wasn't, like, some kick-ass, like, 17-year-old, like, tiny kid that could, I don't know, take down, like, a full-grown man. Like, no, that's not that's
Yeah.
not who is reading the books right now. That's,
It's
like, the
so true, and that's why you wanna get it out now
yes.
and
Yes,
not in 3 years,
and
which it
that
could
was another thing. It's
reasonably take.
the time. Yes, it can
Yeah.
take average 2 to 3 years to get your book traditionally published in the marketplace on the bookshelves, and that's a
Yeah,
lot of
like, there's
time.
people who are, like, looking at fall of '27 right now for their which I love that, especially if you already have a book out there, because I think about the book's journeys, like, I feel like if I have one that I can already hold in my hand and tell people I wrote and sell it somewhere, then like I feel much better about waiting that time on the
Yes.
next thing that I'm writing. And those are the people, honestly, when we talk to authors and we interview them here or we meet them at these retreats, those are the people who ultimately like make it. It's the people who just keep writing, that they sit down and they just keep writing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And going back to the overnight success stories, like it's not just like,
No.
hey, we're both talking about our debut novels. Like, are we going to look back 10 years from now and just be like, oh, so cute. So cute.
God. Yeah. It's like that honeymoon phase a bit where you're just like in love with all of it. But then you're also like kicked in the teeth and you're just like, I'll do it again.
It's so funny, but wanted to touch on the subject with you. I just think that like so many people that follow us and are listening are also like, what the hell am I going to do? Like, what are these options I didn't even know I had?
We're not the ones to teach you about them. We're just the ones to be like, I have feelings about them. We have plenty of other resources and people that we know and like organizations that want to teach you and are very good at teaching you. That's just, we're just, when you get to this point where you have all of these feelings and I like, in our last episode, Lindsay was like, Jenna, I know you have lots of feelings. I'm like, you've been listening. Um, so when you feel it here, you will feel very, very alone. And that's why we're here, because we're like, you're not alone. These all these feelings, thousands, millions of people have had them. Like, how
Yeah,
many
and
authors have there been?
everyone's journey is their own, but they are very similar. I feel like the more people I talk,
Carousel of fun, a
the
roller
carousel
coaster.
of fun. So thanks for like having a drink with us, because this is basically what our conversations are when we do get to stop and have a drink together and chat about where we're at with these things. So it's nice to have a gut check at the beginning of the year for both of us.
Yes.
And for you guys listening out there, we know you're there because we love getting your messages again. Like we are so excited every time somebody tells us they're listening, or comments their own experience on a post. So please keep doing that. Yeah, we're just glad you're here, and we can't wait to bring you like so much more of this content in the new year.
Share your 2026 goal, your writing goal for the year. We're really interested to hear about them, especially because, we're just here. We're here for the vibes and we just want to celebrate you. We want lots of positivity in our worlds. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode. And if you haven't gotten enough of us, make sure to join us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And subscribe. That's very important as we are learning. So we will see you next week, everyone. Bye.